Start our morning routine here, our beauty routine. Cleaning our face from our night cream. A beautiful night cream that we put every night. We don't get to put it in here because most of the times at night we're sleeping, 2 a.m. or very late by the time we prepare our required dinner. We have to eat every day our raw veggies, so because of all the lasers on our body, all the abuse on our body, it's required for us body to survive the most lasers on any body ever is on ours. So it takes us a while, and they give us enough pain and enough tiredness where a salad that would have taken us maybe 15 minutes to prepare, or 10 minutes with us already preparing the stuff, can take us a whole hour barely moving. Just very inefficient. Anything we do, it's way inefficient because we struggle in every day on doing it. So everything takes longer. Like we have our, we were writing 3 articles at one time here 3 or 4 days ago, and our 2 articles were ready, almost done, and we haven't got 2 of them. We got targeted for not publishing them. We got targeted for that one article about and now they took the other company's name from us, which is the main one that they have been. It's the mafia guy group or whatever, all the ones that get paid from that worked on with that company to circle us. He has targeted us here this morning and over 2 days ago. There is no way that he would let that get published, and there is no way we would let that be. We woke up 2 days ago with immense abuse, immense pain on our eyes. It's too much. And that's in addition to all the pains going on in our body. Pain where the point where there is no soothing, that you can't soothe. And you can't feel love, you can't feel anything. You're just barely existing. That's the right description for it. I barely exist. In addition to us waking up that morning with all of that, that one article disappeared from our iPad. We didn't back it up because you're still writing. Mostly, even if we're gonna do backup, we're gonna do it at the end. We did backups before when they targeted us, but here we have been guarded by many companies and countries to guarding our writing. Because it's the only way we could write what we write. It had to be guarded. So the criminal USA government is in our network, and we couldn't get rid of it even when we changed the equipment. You couldn't get rid of it, and so we lost our religious book first, the Byomme book. That we were writing with the God Supreme, and that's 5 years ago. They get into our stuff, and they're in our brain too, or, you know, it's in many ways they get into that. So they enslaved us to delete what we were writing. And they enslaved us to mess with our writing, and they messed with our writing. So we were writing a book, another book, different, about our life, and that, when we weren't guarded, that was a huge impossible. We wrote so much, but they got in our writing and in our miracle hearing, and so they mixed with they would cloud our brain without us knowing. At the time, we didn't know when we were clouded with the lasers and when we weren't. So we were talking to the one and to the God Supreme and to us, and they would cloud where we couldn't hear ours, and then they mixed, because they were listening to ours. They can hear our voice, even we're right, like they hear us when we talk, and with what they have done with limiting our brain to just them. And they would put their voices. They had actors, they had people that played the God Supreme and that played ours, and so they mixed with ours. So they would cloud put theirs, and so we would interfere with the writing of the second book. But also, when we started getting more support, and then they got into our files and started changing our writing. So our writing wasn't secure, but we decided we can work with that, because we needed to write the book to be free, and that was our free that we tried to do at that time. That's years ago. So many people came. During that time to help us, and then they disappeared after, because they blocked them. So we had support, and we felt like, oh, we're gonna be free, we're gonna be out of this, we're gonna publish, we're gonna, and they took over in such a strong way. We had many that came. Julio Iglesias came for a long time. Seven, For All Mankind, their owner came. The designer in Splendid, the designer is in Seven, we got really close. Johnny was. Many of the companies that we shopped from, that we were regular customers of, came supporting us back. Charmin fought a big fight for a while, and then they cut him off. Many, we can't, they always cloud us, so we can't think of everyone, and we don't want, we're getting upset, because in history we're gonna write everyone. But so we kept fighting in the writing. It was taking us too long, them changing. At first they got in with doing that with with playing actors and playing the gods and the goddesses and gods as we were talking to them without us knowing how they were doing it. And then in the writing, they started changing it. And so we started, okay, we're going to print then. So we write and we print. So, and then when we had a big book already, when you have a big book and you're doing that, you really can't, if there is too much changing, there's so much waste of time. So we print it, and then we have to go back, and then we look at that. Well, then they got into the printer. So when we so it went beyond that. It was already taking too long and becoming impossible. But then even when we started printing, when we sent a file to the printer, it would print their stuff afterward. So they got into that, to not just the file, changing the file, but get into changing the file that prints out. That was impossible. Once they did that, it became impossible, because in fact, we can't, have our things not being the files not changed, and then the printing that we were doing the check with, then you can't write. So the book is there sitting, just stopped at that time. Can't do it. And that was years ago now. But that is the government of the USA. Because these people, these haters, this mafia, is inside the government with the highest access. And they call them the high security. So that really they are isolated from even other government. They are everywhere. They are in different government offices, but only them can get into those secured buildings and where they do all this stuff. So they are really, it's like a big family on their own. And then there is the other people that interact with them with some of them out, because they don't know that they are the mafia, but they manipulate everything. They're everywhere. If they want something, then that's what's happening. And they have that support for it, and they have the access to your brain for it. And they have the access to the weapons, to your finances, to your jobs, if you're gonna have a job or not. Can you earn or not? Can you get promoted or not? Should you struggle and sell all that you have worked for? Can you rent your house or your apartments or your investments or not? Can you sell for a good price or not? Because all they have to do is, they are in the internet, they are in the everything that shows. So if they don't want you to be the one having a fair, whatever it is you are doing, a fair business, whatever it is, even if you're not with your own business, when you're selling, you are doing a business there. They just don't let you show up to good prospects in selling your house, or renting your house, or renting your apartment, or thriving your business, or whatever it is that you are. You only the ones that they want can do that. And even those that are thriving, they can thrive for a while, and then they can get them after, or they can kill them and take their stuff. And the common thing is they replace the one with the money. So they leave one person, whatever. They do it in different ways, but they take over that fortune. So many times they want you to build the big fortune. Build more, because they don't want to work. They're lazy. That's how the mafia is. So they let you build, and you may die rich building, but your kid or your grandkid may not, because they want you to build it big, and then they take it. And they have deals with each other, who takes, if there's gonna go many of them, or just one, or one kills the others that were supposed to do it with them, because that's common in there too, killing each other. what they took from us here as we were talking, where we were going with this conversation. But we're gonna work with that. We have been dealing with that for a while, so maybe that will come up in another time where we were going with it. But great information still was. We're gonna do our skin tech, our moisture daily cream. One of the, so we're talking about our writing. Oh yeah, now I remember. Somebody helped us out. So we can then taken away again. We're talking about our writing and how we got targeted here this last 3 days with not publishing 2 articles that we were writing. And one of them was about companies circling. And the companies, so it's not all equal. Some companies are owned by the mafia because they stole the creation. Some are in many different ways. This is a 3-generation, more than 3-generation mafia. So they're really evolved in mafia in so many different ways, and they are very big. Because they got big, they want, so it's more. That's why you have no benefits. You pay taxes and you don't get health insurance. You don't get your kids' education. You don't get your own education. It's just like sucking the money out of you because they have to give it to them. They've grown very big. They killed our parents. They killed our grandparents before. This is like when in their start there with our grandparents, but they do many different scenarios where they are in there. So sometimes they kill and take, sometimes they kill and live one baby and take that baby, kidnap that baby, hide that baby, and then again. So many times, so one plans it. The one that planned it for us already got killed by the one that has it now. So that has our tag now. So it's not always, they are the mafia. To play that, have their own daughter play as, and wanted to be the queen or take over. But that is one scenario, but there are many. Sometimes they kill everyone and just take it when it's easy. There are many different ways where they take over. So sometimes they are the owner of the companies. So it's owned by a mafia. Sometimes it's the companies. So that's a different kind of circling. Sometimes many times here we have the companies that are just too weak. They became too weak to the government because the American mafia is so strong in the government. They can make a company go out of business. They definitely targeted women businesses. Women businesses are ones that suffer in a huge way. And when you see a woman that has thrived as her own in business in a big way, then that woman is working with the mafia in a big way. Like the Paramount woman here that was holding it, she blocked us from being on the shows where we should have been. So she's a big mafia, working with the mafia in a big way for her to thrive. But I guess that makes sense with her dad saying that he's gonna live forever, thinking that he's that powerful. So she learned some really bad things in there. She grew up with the wrong learning the wrong things. they take the words from us. We read all the time, so our language is very, very, very high. But they take the words from us, and we deal with it as it comes. So we'll have to just find other ways to speak. But they targeted the women businesses in a huge way. So even the women that had here later, it started the hate of the women for a long time, but it got really, really extreme. And they targeted them in every way. They targeted the body, they targeted the business, they targeted them in professional, if they can make it. They target them in not being able to be in the managements other than just some to play. And even those they can, it's a huge hate on women. Huge hate on women. And immense hate on their bodies. On the including the labor, how we go through the labor and the labor long suffering after the healing process. If they choose some that would have that easy and some that suffer it in a big way. We are one of the ones that suffered it in a big way. Sufferings by lasers, not natural. You already have your natural suffering for bringing a baby to life, and then they add to that, and they lengthen that your healing process, where it just takes you longer on suffering. Things that we don't, the world doesn't need. That we need to eradicate. Because with that you suffer, and with your suffering you are very, very inefficient in your life. It could be just in, that time, but many times it's, they do it in that, they do it with your kids. When you see parents suffering with their kids, you see the kids acting out in a mall or in a store, and many times you judge. You think that's a bad parent. But it's not a bad parent many times. They attack the kid with laser in that time, and the kid starts acting out. And the parent it's just like, doesn't know how to soothe the kid. And as they are trying to, and then they do it to them over and over, and it's on a survival mode, mother or father. And you see them and you judge. And that's what they want. They're making those parents miserable, and the parents react in different ways. Instead of being just an experience where they're excited, happy to have a baby and a kid and a teenager and a young adult. It's different when they are targeted, when their kids are circled. They are circled, their kids are circled. So the kids are not, do a lot of hateful things. Not that they are hateful, but the laser is hating on them. And so they do those things. And then many times, and they do that for many of them, they stay on them with that laser. So as they stay on them for a long time, their brain doesn't develop in that way, and their emotions don't develop so a lot of things are handicapped in the way. So you may have a kid that you feel like, you're excited, and then misery comes over, and for most, it's still misery, and you love them, and it's a very inefficient. Also, it adds to your inefficiency in life. One of the sufferings of lasers that has a name is autism. Autism is not natural. It is laser. And so is the ADHD and all those that new got labeled new here later. Those are all laser attacks on the kids. I see a lot of engineers have kids that are autistic. That's a plan. But so, and that you suffer as a parent with an autistic kid. It's a huge suffering. It's a long-term suffering because you have to work with them with their handicap on them, and even even when you know that's not natural, you still have to work with it until the laser is removed. And then, but they still have handicapped them for all these years with that. So that way they're justifying in a medical way on you as a parent that to accept the lack of emotional growth of your kid. And if you don't accept it, or if you feel, well, I guess if you feel it's not just not accepting it, you most accept it, but you feel always like you're not doing enough, like you could do better. And for many, you read the books and you do this, and it's still your kid is in that way. So yeah, but they are lacking those emotions, and sometimes they can be hateful on you, and many times you're living with that. And a handicap on the kid, but a handicap on the parents as well. And definitely a suffering on the mothers, the ones that spend more time. And I mean, by nature, as mothers, we put in more. We have them there for 9 months, and we have them there nursing them or taking care of them. And we want every mother worldwide to nurse. We want nursing 100%. And all those reasons that people that they get that they can't nurse, no. There is no bad milk, and no you can change your food if it's just a laser on you. Or there is no kid that can't nurse, no. If you have a problem, there are nursing nurses or helpers that can solve that problem. So you suffer it, you go, and the laser is in there. They did that on us in nursing. They put laser, they gave us infections, high temperatures, did a whole thing, and we kept at it. So nursing it needs to be 100% worldwide. And not nursing for 1 month. You manage to nurse for longer, and you can go to the office, and the office should work with you on that, provide where you could pump for your baby and store that and give that to the people taking care of the baby if you are in an office. We want to help. We're not going to ask you to nurse and live in life as it is. No, we ask you to nurse, and we're going to set up the laws and the jobs for you to have that support, where it's just easy, and everybody's supporting that, because we all want you to nurse so that the babies have the best, have the nature, have your milk, have your a strong body for that. And in that time, they're not just getting the milk and the strength, they're getting their mother holding them. They're hearing your heart, just like they heard it when they were there for 9 months. They're feeling that the body that they know is holding them so many times. So the pumping is good, and you give them that. And when you are home or you are with them, then you are holding them. You don't give them the other milk. You do the mother's work with the baby. And your bond with that baby is gonna be, forever. It's a huge bond. Even when you have lasers on you, you still have that huge bond. Even when you feel the hate on you with the lasers on them, it's still a huge bond. It's in their instinct then, because You have worked for it. You earned it by nature. The flax here. We have a campaign here for being the Queen of the USA. We are going to be, if they give it to us or we take it. But we are going to be the Queen of the world as well, the Queen of everyone. We are going to be the power over all, because we need to be, to help you all with the laws, with a better life, to remove the lasers from all of you here worldwide, to give you a new way of living, new way of jobs, stability, growth, benefits, not just in the USA, but other countries have, most of them have better benefits, but we're still gonna be better. So we wanna do that for worldwide, to help you as we change everything. We're gonna change the way people think. We're gonna remove the laser, and you're gonna feel the happiness in your life just by being in nature that you don't know anymore. Because the generations now, you don't know, they did that for so long, and so you're born growing up with the laser, you don't know you. The justice system, we're gonna try to help the ones that got trapped, many that shouldn't be in there, in jails and prisons, and then the ones that should be in there, they'll still have, if they are not mafia, they will still have a better way. We want people in prison to grow. We don't want to waste human life just enclosed. And we also don't want them to just be there and just not working. So if they're there, they are working, they're gonna work, they're gonna support in a way themselves, and in that they grow, and they move, they grow love, some of them, and then they can be out. And the ones that can't be out, they're still productive inside. And for them, even for those that can't be out, just to be in the productive and supporting themselves, they will be happier. Because it's easier to have something to do than to just sit. The world has agreed with us for us being queen over everyone. The USA is the fighter, because that's where the mafia, the big mafia over the world, and the laser over the world is. So this is the big fight. Once this one is done, the world is ready. And that includes kings, presidents, includes everyone. Everyone wants heaven. Or an easier after, even if they had done whatever, it's, they earn with us. And for many that already have done really good for their people or are loved, they are there still. They may not have the name king or president, but they, as long as they are, they're loving there and they know how to work, so they'll still be doing stuff in their country. We're just on top. So that includes politicians that are love politicians too, and that patriotic to their country. We love that. We love the patriotic, the love for your country, that for your people to wanna, just as long as it is love, we love it. We don't think that you should not be patriotic. I think patriotic is a great thing, but in love. We're not gonna have the wars between anyone. We're gonna eliminate that. We don't need wars. With us over on top, we're not gonna have that. Or we're still gonna have militaries. But the militaries are gonna be doing different projects. We want everybody in the world, every kid to serve. You get your high school and you go serve. You learn some discipline, and you learn hard work, physical hard work, and you learn in that hard work they're gonna do. You learn you're loving your country and doing work. And the military, the ones that are in there all the time, they train you. You do 2 years in there, and then you go to university after that, and it's paid. You pay for university. You don't have to worry about that. You go serve, and a very rich kid is gonna be serving also in there. A poor kid serving. Everybody serves because we want. This is for heaven. You earn. You earn. You do the work. You need to know what hard work is. If you are poor or if you are rich, how hard work is, and to do things for others. And in that, many will learn earlier on, before they have their own kids, and to value their parents, even in the rich or in the middle or in the, but the cultures have been here so bad on parents, very hateful on parents, where it's hard to even teach your kids discipline because they get in. You're talking to your kid, but you're talking to the guy or girl. Many of them are guys that have the lasers on your kid, not really your natural kid. So militaries will be doing many things that we need them. Helping, for some, they could be helping transport, things to islands. We have all those ships, so they could be transport, including construction materials. We're already paying the taxes. We're already paying for all of that. We could use that. Efficient government, and really efficient, not the lie efficient, really efficient. What you pay, you get back in some way. Somebody in there that is paying is getting back. You get it back. Different people get it back in different ways. So what you pay for us to make it easier. We're done with our morning routine. Bye.